All right, Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, back with you to finish up our picks for Rivalry Week. Hope you joined us yesterday for instant analysis throughout the day, but also for my predictions on the games on Friday. Pretty darn proud of 7-1 against the spread. 7-1 against the spread yesterday. The only game I missed was the inconsequential Missouri-Arkansas game where the Hogs were a 23.5-point underdog. Otherwise, 7-1 against the spread. 6-2 straight up. And remember, I tell you this every week. I've been keeping track of how many upsets there are in the top 25. How many straight up upsets against the Vegas line. And it's between 20 and 25%. We came into the weekend, I believe, at 54 out of 214 games. 54 of 214, whatever the percentage is on that. And, of course, yesterday we had Washington at +3, winning outright against Washington State. Virginia Tech at 4.5, winning outright against Virginia as well. So there were 2 of the 8 games, 25% yesterday, that were upsets. So we typically should look for 20 to 25% of the games to be upsets. I picked Washington outright and West Virginia outright, so I split those two. All right, here we go. Pitt, Miami, Panthers on the road at Miami. Of course, they've won the Coastal Division, getting 6. I've got Pitt winning the game, so I'll take the 6 points as well. Georgia Tech, this game in Athens, Bulldogs is 17-point favorite. I've got them to cover. Florida at Florida State, Gators 7.5-point favorite. The Seminoles are a mess. I don't like this point spread. It's too high. But maybe it's not too high. I'll take Florida -7.5, and they'll win the game, of course. BC, a 6.5-point favorite at home against Syracuse. They cover. Purdue at Indiana. I like Purdue to win the game. I think they got more offensive talent in particular. Indiana, I'll take the 4 points in a razor-tight game. Auburn at Alabama. Yeah, the Tide wins and they roll. My prediction earlier in the week, check out the video. History lesson, matchups, the whole deal. Was that Bama's going to win this game 30-13, so I will take the 25 points. Maryland at Penn State. All right, I like the Terps with the 14 points in Happy Valley. I do like Penn State to eke out a win. Penn State wins, Maryland plus the 14. Northwestern covers 17 against a hapless Illinois club, and that's a lot of points for Northwestern. They don't score a ton, but I'll still take the Wildcats to lay the 17. Arizona State, a 2-point favorite on the road against Arizona. I do like the Sun Devils to win the game and therefore minus the 2 points. Minnesota at Wisconsin. The Badgers have beaten the Gophers 14 consecutive times. They do it again, and they covered the 10.5 points. South Carolina at Clemson. Yeah, Tigers roll again against the Gamecocks, but man, 26.5 points, just too much can happen in the fourth quarter when the game's out of hand. Let's say Clemson's up by 25 points in the fourth quarter. I will take South Carolina to sneak in under the 26.5. Kentucky at Louisville. Wildcats don't score against anyone, but Louisville's that bad. I'll take Kentucky -17 at Louisville. Kansas State at Iowa State. I really like the Cyclones. They're a good team, but they don't score much. Defensive battle here. Cyclones win. Kansas State plus the 13. LSU at Texas A&M. Razor close victory for the Aggies. They win at home, but I'll take LSU plus the 3.5 points. Notre Dame at USC. Huge game for the Irish, of course. They go out to the LA Coliseum. They play well. They win the game, but USC puts up enough of a fight. Hopefully they do this week. They didn't last week, I don't think, against UCLA. But they've got the opportunity in their semi-bowl game here. USC plus the 11.5. I'll take it against Notre Dame. Irish win the game. BYU at Utah. This is the holy war, and Utah, again, I'm going to take another struggling, or not struggling, but not prolific offense. And I'll take the Utes to cover the 11. And then a huge matchup in the group of 5 for the Mountain West, one side of the conference championship to go to the conference championship game, Utah State and Boise State. I'm going to take the Yankees on the road plus the 3 points. So I'll take them to win plus the 3 points. So therefore, and then we also, I guess, have to pick this other game. I'll tack it on. Michigan, Ohio State, the further we get in the week, the further I like the Buckeyes to pull off a slight upset at home. against all metrics, all odds of how the two teams are playing. But I will stick with my earlier prediction that is posted at SG1 Sports, 27-20 Wolverines. So take Michigan, lay the 4.5 against Ohio State. So how many upsets are we picking? I've got Pitt winning outright, +6 against Miami. I've got probably not as many as I should have, right? And I only have Utah State plus the 3 points against Boise. I've got 2 upsets out of the however many games. There are the picks, though. We were off to a good start. Hopefully it continues today. 7-1 against the spread on Friday. Make your predictions down below. You can pick all the games. You can pick games that I didn't. You've got all sorts of rivalry games out there. I couldn't jump into too many. I wasn't going to pick 52 games, but North Carolina State, Duke, and Wake. Let's see, other games in the Big Ten, not off the top of my head. I think I caught all of them with the Nebraska-Iowa game on Friday. Other games in the SEC, Tennessee-Vandy, rivalry game there. Other games across the country as well you can dive into. Right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, I will have an instant analysis of Ohio State and Michigan and the other games at noon. Florida State I'll be watching, as well as Georgia Tech, as much as I possibly can watch 3 games, and then the other games at noon. So we'll join you around the 3:15 window Eastern time, and then throughout the day, and certainly to wrap up the big rivalry week and all the championship implications late night tonight, right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.